विश्राम सावधान प्रार्थना के लिए तैयार होंगे प्रार्थना शुरू कर
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय दया कर दानवी दाता हमें परमात्मा देना दया करना हमारी आत्मा में शुद्धता देना हमारे ध्यान में आओ प्रभु आँखों में बस जाओ अंधेरे दिल में आकर के परम ज्योति जगा देना बहा दो ज्ञान की गंगा दिलों में प्रेम का सागर हमें आपस में मिलजुल कर प्रभु रहना सिखा देना हमारा धर्म हो सेवा हमारा कर्म हो सेवा सदा ईमान हो सेवा सेवा
Good morning everyone, I am Mehul Uttam of class 12th A and today on the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, me and my friends are hosting a virtual morning assembly. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is an initiative of the Government of India to celebrate 75 years of progressive India and the glorious history of its people, culture and achievements. The Mahotsav is dedicated to the people of India who have not only been instrumental in bringing India thus far in its evolutionary journey but has also hold within themselves the power and potential to enable Prime Minister Modi's vision of activating India 2.0 fueled by the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The students performing today are first Deep, Ashish, Mohammad, Ansh, Saurabh and Arush of class 12A, Keval and Simran of class 12C and Siddhi and Ankita of class 12D. Hope you like it.
India is my country, and all Indians are my brothers and sisters. I love my country, and I am proud of its rich and varied heritage. I shall always strive to be worthy of it. I shall give my parents, teachers, and all elders respect and treat everyone with courtesy. To my country and my people, I pledge my devotion. In their well being and prosperity alone lies my happiness.
Good morning. Today thought for the day is don't see others doing better than you. Beat your own records every day because success is a fight between you and yourself. I repeat, don't see others doing better than you. Beat your own records every day because success is a fight between you and yourself. By Chandrasekhar Azad. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
Good morning everyone. Word of the day is obsequious. It means marked by or showing a fawning attentiveness. In other words, too eager to help or obey someone important. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Good morning everyone. Today's news headlines are as follows. First, some international news. UK Conservative lawmaker says we will call for confidence vote on PM Johnson. US to send warship fighter jets to UAE after Jim attack statement. Russia denies responding to US proposal on Ukraine crisis. US NATO has ignored Russia's top security demands. Now some national news. India warms to crypto with tax digital currency. The union budget has earmarked a 35% increase in capital expenditure. Amazon to shut down decades-old Indian publishers. Now some sports news. Neeraj Chopra nominated for Nuance World Sports Awards. KL Rahul moves up to 4th ICC T20 batting ranking Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli retains both. New Zealand opens Darryl Michael win ICC Spirit of Cricket Award for 2021. Now some news related to COVID-19. India records 1,61,386 new cases, 2,81,109 recovers. Now, weather forecast. The maximum temperature is 26 degrees Celsius and the minimum temperature is 17 degrees Celsius.
Good morning, my friends. Today we are reciting the poem That Beautiful Earth by the legendary freedom fighter Veer Savarkar. Hind, our beautiful motherland, brought to life all the great ones she did. The treasured Rig Veda and Samveda, the knowledge and poetry of the Upanishads, the age-old Gayatri Mantra, and Sandatri, the goddess of unity. She is a mother to Bharatwaj, Janak, Vasisht, Shuka, Sanak and Sri Garga. She is a mother to the whole clan of illustrious sages.
Learned Vyas and Valmiki of Ramayana fame, their first baby words learned. In the shelter of her bosom, they did. She is hailed, O Mother, O our Mother, by legendary kings Nala, Raghu, Ram and Dharmaraj.
From her womb came forth Gargi, Vidula, Sita and Draupadi, and the valiant Lakshmibai of Jhansi. She who is revered by the three worlds, the great Buddha, Chaitanya and Guru Nanak. Blessed by her milk she did. Fearless Rana Pratap and Shivaji, Banda, Bairagi and Guru Gobind Ji, who gave birth to them and inspired them, she did.
She is a mine of scientific wisdom, a lotus of fine arts. She is land of pure flowering waters and fruit laden with sweet syrup juice. Such are the wonder born of her precious womb. Why even of a second would our Mother Earth be a slave?
This eclipse, but for a moment it shall last. Eternal is the sun, eternal are the galaxies. Soon, very soon, liberated and accomplished shall she be, as the mighty benefactor of the world. Vande Mataram!
Jai Hind!
We have all grown up listening to the tales of our brave heart freedom fighters sacrificing their lives for the freedom of our nation. Some took the path of non-violence, while some took the path of violence. But both the ways directed us to the liberation that we enjoy today. These great freedom fighters influenced us and our entire generation throughout our history. But the tragic part is that our history topics cannot essentially include all the tales from the freedom fight, and therefore some fascinating stories are overlooked with the passing time. The story of three young freedom fighters, Badal, Binoy, and Dinesh, is one of the forgotten stories from the freedom fight. So, today I, Arush Agarwal, is here to narrate a short yet significant tale of three young lads who sacrificed their lives for our freedom. The day was 8 December 1930. At the Writers' Building in Kolkata, the capital during the British rule. British officers and other Bengali gentlemen were working as usual. It was then that three young boys broke down their harmony with the roar that would now echo through our generations. The trio of Binoy, Badal, and Dinesh rewrote the opinions of revolution in Kolkata. They were just like other Indians with a hunger to behold free India. Binoy Krishna Basu was born on 11th September 1908 in the village Rohitabog in the Munshiganj district, now in Bangladesh. Under the influence of Hemchandra Ghosh, a revolutionary of Dhaka, Binoy entered Mukti Sangha, a secret society nearly related to the Junatgar party. He could not obtain his career in medical studies due to his alliance with revolutionary movements with the Bengal volunteers. Even Dinesh Gupta was born in Bangladesh but in a different village named Joshalong in Munshiganj district on 6 December 1911. When Dinesh was studying at Dhaka College, he joined Bengal Volunteers, a group organized by Subhash Chandra Bose. And soon the Bengal Volunteers transformed itself into a more actively revolutionary association and planned to execute the infamous British police officers. Dinesh trained some revolutionaries who were responsible to assassinate three district magistrates in sequence: Douglas, Berg, and Peddy. Badal Gupta was born in 1912 as Sudhir Gupta in the village Shimulya in the Bikrampur region of Dhaka, now in Munshiganj district, Bangladesh. He was vastly inspired by Nikund Sen, a teacher of the Baneripara school of Bikrampur. Badal similarly enrolled in the British volunteers as a member. Eventually, when Badal, Binoy, and Dinesh met at the Bengal volunteers, their purpose was just to shake the entire British Empire, and they fulfilled it when they got an opportunity in the conflict at the Writers' Building in Kolkata. When the Bengal Volunteers Association targeted N.S. Simpson, the Inspector General of Prisons, who was infamous for his brutal and inhuman oppression of the prisoners in the jails, the three freedom fighters not only decided to assassinate him, but similarly to blow fear in the British official circles by initiating an attack on the Secretariat building, the Writers' Building in the Dalhousie Square in Kolkata. On 8 December 1930, Dinesh, Binoy, and Badal, dressed in sophisticated European attire, entered the Writers' Building and turned on an open fire and fired shots as soon as they saw Simpson, who died immediately. Other British officials in the building, like Tynham, Prentice, and Nelson, underwent fatal injuries during the shootout. Soon, the whole police force overpowered them, but the trio did not surrender. Badal took potassium cyanide and died on the spot at the age of around 22, while Binoy and Dinesh shot themselves with their revolvers. Somehow, Binoy was taken to the hospital where he died on 13 December 1930 when he was barely around 22 years old. Even Dinesh survived the deadly injury, but he was convicted and the verdict of the trial was death by hanging. While foreseeing his execution, he wrote several letters from his prison cell on the courage of the freedom fighters and his belief in the greatness of self-sacrifice for the nation. Dinesh was only 19 years old when he was hanged on 7th July 1931 at Alipur jail. These three young and brave freedom fighters were treated as martyrs in Bengal and other parts of India. And after the independence, Dalhousie Square was named BBD Bagh after Binoy, Badal, and Dinesh. The Writers' Building was designed by Thomas Lyon in 1777 and it still serves as the Secretariat building of the state government of West Bengal. Even after this, forgotten freedom fighters and their stories are lost somewhere in the vast history of liberation, we must pay respect to these precious patriotic sons of India, who are still an inspiration to the millions of proud Indians. Thank you.
In today's fast moving world and tough competition, day to day life, the youth hardly finds time for remembrance of our rich heritage and past. This becomes most crucial whilst the nation celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The fight against colonial rule in India constitutes a unique narrative, one which is not marred by violence, rather, a narrative that is full of variegated stories of valor, bravery, satyagraha, dedication, and sacrifice across the length and breadth of the subcontinent. These stories heritage and traditions. Thus, the unsung heroes need not necessarily define the lesser known freedom fighters.
भारतीय स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन में हजारों लोगों ने भारत को आजादी दिलाने के लिए बहुत से संघर्ष किए। उनमें से निसंदेह महात्मा गांधी जी हैं, सुभाष चंद्र बोस, भगत सिंह, रानी लक्ष्मीबाई और कई ऐसे प्रसिद्ध स्वतंत्रता सेनानी। लेकिन कुछ अनसंग हीरोज ऐसे भी हैं जिन्होंने भारत को स्वतंत्रता दिलाने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है, पन्नों में ही रह गया है। आइए भारतीय स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन के हमारे कुछ अनसंग लेकिन समान रूप से बहादुर नेताओं के बारे में जानते हैं। My name is Simran. I am from class 12C. We have Keval from class 12C, Mehul Uttam from class 12A, and Siddhi and Ankita from class 12D. So let's start with Siddhi.
I was going through the newspaper the other day and I read something about Mansoor, the famous director. He has announced his next film, Abakka the Abhay Rani of the Arabian Sea. Does anyone of you know about Rani Abakka?
No, Siddhi, we have not heard of her.
Then let me take you back to the unknown history. During the 16th century, after capturing Goa, the Portuguese were now eyeing the coastal areas of Karnataka and Kerala. In 1525, Rani Abakka was born in Ullal, the pride land of the Tulwa people. She belonged to the Chota dynasty, ruling over parts of coastal Karnataka. After losing her parents in her early childhood, she was guided and trained by her uncle, Tirumala Raya. She was taught different military strategies and the art of fighting battles, along with the boys of her age. She was married to the Prince of Mangalore, Lakshmappa Bangaraja, and in 1544 she was crowned the Queen of Ullal. Upon the death of the King of Mangalore, his son-in-law, Kamaraj, became his successor as per their traditions. But as a cruel man as he was, his intention was to rule over Ullal and marry Rani Abakka. On the other hand, the Portuguese were strengthening their grip over coastal Karnataka. The local kings tried bribing the Portuguese, but Rani Abakka stood up on behalf of her people and refused to bribe. Her husband and the king of Mangalore, Kamaraja, opposed her. Therefore, she had to leave Mangalore and return back to Ullal. Ullal was an important trading center for spices, and the Portuguese wanted to capture it desperately. But Rani Abakka refused to surrender. In 1555, she warned the Portuguese from entering Ullal by defeating their admiral at the seashore. But the viceroy burned the Ullal palace with all the women and the children. Rani Abakka was able to escape safely, and with the help of Bijapur, Arab, and Calicut troops, and with a small army, she fearlessly fought a battle with the Portuguese. At the same time, her husband and Kamaraj joined hands with the enemy. Because of their betrayal, she lost the battle. She fought bravely till her last breath and sacrificed herself in the battleground. I guess you didn't know about a first woman freedom fighter.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that we all were not aware of that. Pity that her husband betrayed her, but she proved to be a brave warrior. See what Ankita has got for us.
I haven't read the newspaper, but I do watch a serial regularly on Sony Entertainment, which is based on Ahilya Bai Holkar. It is of which I were unaware. I'm pretty sure they would be untold to you too all.
Yeah, she's also known as Philosopher Queen.
Yes, you are right, Keval. She was the hereditary queen of the Maratha Empire. She was born in the Chondi after dying of her husband and then her father-in-law. She took the affair of Holkar dynasty. At the time of her birth, women were not allowed to go to school or get educated, but her father taught her to read and write.
That was indeed a revolutionary movement.
After her husband's death, Ahilyabai had given up all her desires of life and decided to perform sati to accompany her husband. People requested her to not commit sati. Finally, it was her father-in-law who made emotional appeals to stop her. Ahilyabai was not only capable of military, she was also considered already trained to be a ruler. Ahilyabai petitioned the Peshwa after the death of her husband and the father-in-law to take over the administration herself. She also rebuilt the Kashi temple in 1776 that had been plundered, desecrated, and converted into Gyanvapi Mosque on the orders of the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in 1669.
He also destroyed the Somnath temple. Aurangzeb was a really cruel and intolerant ruler.
Yes, he was. And because of Ahilyabai, till date the temple is standing with its culture and pride.
Basically, Ahilyabai is an iconic symbol of women's empowerment and a great pioneer and it propagates Hinduism. She builds hundreds of the temple and dharamshala throughout the India. So let's continue with Keval.
Recently, the movie Razi, I was very captivated. It really inspired me so much for such peoples. That's when I found about Saraswati Rajamaniji, a master imposter and spy par excellence who dug out intelligence right from the heart of British establishment at the right time of freedom movement. Saraswati Rajamaniji was a woman whose story can give many spy thrillers. Rangoon, Burma. In 1926, Rajamani enlisted for Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose INA at the age of 16. She raised in a family that supported the freedom movement. The Indian National Army INA, Netaji's powerful slogans tilted the scales for the budding young revolutionary who initially joined the INA as a nurse but hungry for more challenging roles. After she nurse into spy and she was sent on a top secret mission to spy on British soldiers. And for that mission, she cut her hairs and posed as an errand boy. After a year of successful happiness, Rajamani's co-spy Durga was one day caught and imprisoned. To save Durga, Rajamani dressed up as a dancing girl, entertaining the authorities at prison. She drugged rescue her friend, and by leaving the place, she was shot one of her leg.
The bullet wound left her with a permanent limp, but Rajamani was proud of it. For her, it was a reminder of her exciting days as a spy in the INA.
Yes, you are right. And the revolutionary finally passed away in the year 2019, leaving behind a legacy of indominance courage.
Many women who walk shoulder to shoulder with the man through the rough times still remains in the shadow of their forgotten faces and the bravery which is unsung. That was very informative, Keval. Now let's ask Mehul with which unsung hero he has came up with.
Talking of one of the extraordinary freedom fighter who I read about in my social science textbook. He played a very major role in the Indian freedom struggle and had inspired many by his acts. Alluri Sitarama Raju, born on 4th July 1897, also referred to as Manyam Veedu, that is, Hero of the Jungle, was an Indian revolutionary involved in the Indian independence movement. Alluri led the Rampa Rebellion of 1922, during which a band of tribal people and other sympathizers fought in the border areas of the East Godavari and Vishakhapatnam regions known as Andhra Pradesh against the British Raj, which had passed the law. Did you know that he claimed that he had a variety of special powers? He could make correct astrological predictions and heal people, and he could even survive bullet shots.
Really? Are you exaggerating?
Really?
Yes, Siddhi.
My dear
Not only
Raju,
this, harnessing some aspects of the earlier non-cooperation movement and with widespread support among the tribal people, Alluri led raids on police stations with his followers. He stole guns and ammunition and killed several British police officers. But eventually, Alluri was trapped and he was on 7th May 1924. He was a brave son of motherland, India, who had sacrificed his life in order to make his country back free from the clutches of British.
mighty Alluri Sitarama Raju.
Yes, indeed he was.
Alluri's idea of non-duality of man and nature with the help world to get rid of lots of problems. So he taught us that the vision of the future has to be made while learning from the past. Thank you all of you to join us on this talk show. Hope you have a great day.
आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव के इस शुभ अवसर पर आज मैं कर्म पटेल कक्षा 5वीं ब का छात्र आप सभी के समक्ष स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के अमर सिपाही श्री खुदीराम बोस के जीवन से जुड़ा एक रोचक किस्सा सुनाने जा रहा हूँ। देश के लिए मात्र 18 साल की उम्र में फांसी के फंदे पर झूलने वाले अमर शहीद श्री खुदीराम बोस का जन्म 3 दिसंबर 1889 को हुआ था। उन्होंने ब्रिटिश मैजिस्ट्रेट डगलस किंग्सफोर्ड को मारने का प्रयास किया था, लेकिन गलती से किसी और को मार बैठे थे। इस आरोप में उनको फांसी की सजा हुई थी। 11 अगस्त 1908 को सुबह 6 बजे खुदीराम बोस को फांसी दी जानी थी। 10 अगस्त की रात को खुदीराम बोस के पास एक जेलर आया। जेलर को खुदीराम बोस से अपने बेटे की तरह प्यार और लगाव हो गया था। जेलर अपने साथ 4 रसीले आम लाया था, जिसे खुदीराम को खाने के लिए दिए। अगली सुबह जब जेलर खुदीराम को लेने आए ताकि उनको फांसी दी जा सके, जेलर ने देखा कि रात को जो आम खुदीराम को दिए थे वो वैसे के वैसे ही पड़े हैं। तो जेलर ने खुदीराम को पूछा कि तुमने आम क्यों नहीं खाए? तो खुदीराम ने कहा कि जिस व्यक्ति को सुबह फांसी होने वाली है उसे खाना पीना कैसे पसंद लगेगा। यह सुनकर जेलर आम उठाने आगे बढ़ता है। वह जैसे आम उठाता है, आम के छिलके पिचक जाते हैं। दरअसल खुदीराम ने सारे आम खा लिए थे और छिलकों को फुलाकर रख दिया था, जिससे लगे कि आम हो। यह देखकर खुदीराम ठाका मारकर हंसने लगे और खुदीराम के साथ जेलर एवं अन्य लोग भी हंसने लगे। जेलर खुदीराम को बिंदास देखकर हैरान रह गया। वह सोच रहा था कि जिस व्यक्ति की कुछ देर में फांसी हो रही है, वह व्यक्ति कैसे अठास्य कर मृत्यु की उपेक्षा कर रहा।
Good morning. Today's news is being presented by Inderjeet. First of all, some international news. Queen Elizabeth II to mark 7 years on the throne. From national news, Naidu asked MPs to improve productivity, says 52% of time of winter session lost. Local news, second dose of vaccination drive will be held in Kendriya Vidyalaya Ahmedabad Kent on 4th February. Sports news, Under 19 World Cup, India outclassed Australia in semis to set up date with England in final. And lastly, weather report, today's Ahmedabad minimum temperature will be 14 degree and maximum will be 29 degree. Thank you, have a nice day.
अगर वाकिफ है मेरी कलम मेरे जज्बातों से, अगर मैं इश्क लिखना भी चाहूँ तो इनकलाब लिख जाता है, इनकलाब लिख जाता है। इसको लिखने वाले आज़ादी के दीवाने शहीद भगत सिंह जैसे अनेकों शूरवीरों ने अपना बलिदान देकर आज़ादी दे गए। हम आज़ादी के 75वें वर्ष में आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं। इस अवसर पर मैं अजरा मेसरिया केंद्रीय विद्यालय अहमदाबाद कैंट से एक कविता लेकर प्रस्तुत हूँ। यही है सिर्फ याद चुना पवित्र मातृभूमि की महानता बनी रहे, स्वतंत्रता बनी रहे, स्वतंत्रता बनी रहे। शहीद वीरों की आन है स्वतंत्रता, समस्त देश प्रेमियों की शान है स्वतंत्रता। वतन हमारा जिस्म है तो जान है स्वतंत्रता, हवा है रोशनी है आसमान है स्वतंत्रता। स्वतंत्रता का अर्थ है कि हम स्वतंत्र स्वर बने, जहाँ हो मौन दास का वहाँ सदा मुखर बने। यही हमारा स्वतंत्रता के तीर्थ की सदैव हम नगर बने, सजी स्वाभिमान से जिए सदा हम निडर बने। यही हमारा लक्ष्य हो, स्वतंत्र हर मनुष्य हो, परंतु हर मनुष्य में मनुष्यता बनी रहे, मनुष्यता बनी रहे, मनुष्यता बनी रहे। धन्यवाद
सभी को। हमारा देश आज़ादी का 75वां वर्ष मना रहा है आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव के रूप में। शहीदों की चिताओं पर लगेंगे हर बरस मेले, शहीदों की चिताओं पर लगेंगे हर बरस मेले, वतन पर मिटने वालों का बस यही निशान हो। हमारी आज़ादी की जो इमारत आज हमें इतनी बुलंद दिख रही है, इसके पीछे बहुत सारे ऐसे व्यक्तित्व रहे, ऐसे लोग रहे जो नींव की ईंट बने, जिनकी शहादत को नमन करने के लिए अभी हमारा ये देश तैयार है, हमारे नौजवान तैयार हैं। इस उपलक्ष्य में मैं हमारे हेमराज सर हेडमास्टर उनको आमंत्रित करती हूँ कि वो एक वार्ता प्रस्तुत करेंगे। श्री हेमराज नवल सर।
सुप्रभात। आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव में एक वार्ता लेकर आज मैं हेमराज नवल केंद्रीय विद्यालय अहमदाबाद कैंट से आप सभी के सामने प्रस्तुत हूँ। आज की इस वार्ता में हम बात करेंगे एक ऐसी महिला क्रांतिकारी के बारे में जिन्होंने अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ विद्रोह की मशाल छेड़ी। निश्चित ही आपके मन में विचार आ रहा होगा महारानी लक्ष्मीबाई के बारे में, लेकिन मित्रों यहाँ मैं उन महिला के बारे में बात करना चाह रहा हूँ जिन्होंने महारानी लक्ष्मीबाई से पहले अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ विद्रोह किया। इनका नाम था वेलू नचियार। ये तमिल से थी। यह महारानी थी शिवागंगा से। शिवागंगा की महारानी वेलू नचियार ने सबसे पहले अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ विद्रोह छेड़ा था। अंग्रेज शासक इनसे इतना घबराते थे कि इनकी शक्ति कम करने के लिए अंग्रेजों ने इनके पति को मौत के घाट उतार दिया। वेलू नचियार को 8 साल तक अंग्रेजों से छुप के रहना पड़ा, लेकिन वेलू नचियार ने एक ऐसी सेना तैयार की जिसको मानव बम सेना कहा जा सकता है। अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ विद्रोह करने का इनका जो तरीका था बिल्कुल अलग था। जहां कहीं भी इनको खबर पड़ती कि अंग्रेजी सैन्य शक्ति का ठिकाना उस विशेष जगह पर है, वहां ये अपने मानव बम भेज देते। और जब विद्रोह चरम सीमा पर था और महारानी वेलू नचियार को जब पता लगा कि अंग्रेजों का असला बारूद का ठिकाना किस जगह पर है, तो वहाँ पर वेलू नचियार महारानी ने स्वयं को तेल में भिगोकर उस स्थान पर पहुंची और असला बारूद के अंदर ही अपने आप को जला दिया और पूरा का पूरा जो अंग्रेजों शासक का असला बारूद था वो तबाह कर दिया। दूसरी चर्चा मैं करना चाहूंगा एक त्रिकोण की, प्राय जिन्होंने
राष्ट्रगान के लिए तैयार होंगे। राष्ट्रगान शुरू कर।